YouTube was good with y'all, man. Welcome back to the channel. Young Thug dropped his tape a few days ago. I also got this comment right here asking me to do a tutorial on how to make beats for Young Thug. Also, the tape has some crazy features from Drake, 21 Savage, and Future. So today I'm gonna get into how to make those wavy type beats, man. Let's get straight to it. Before getting to the beat, man, if y'all hear any sort of white noise or some fan noise, I got my fan turned on because it's hot as fuck in my room. But yeah, let's get into the beat. All right, so for the melody with these type of beats, you of course want to go for something melodic or something wavy. And I really want to use a flute sample for that. And the way I'm gonna get that flute sample is... Where's my phone, bro? All right, so I'm gonna be using the melody app for the flute sample to kind of start out the melody, kind of spark an idea, if that makes sense. So I want to thank the melody app for also sponsoring this video. They've sponsored plenty of my videos in the past, man. Y'all know how it works. And for the people that don't know, right as you sign up for the app, you get this little filter menu. You get instruments and vibes, and you can basically select what kind of samples you want to hear. Since I'm looking for a flute melody for instruments, I'm gonna click on flute, and for vibes, I'm gonna go for hard, dark. I don't know what intense is, but we're gonna select it. Next, we click view results. Now it's gonna play the sample, and I can swipe left if I don't like the sample, and if I like the sample, I can swipe right. And if I decide I want to use the sample, I can swipe up, and it's gonna send it directly to my email. So yeah, let's listen to some samples. Alright, so I got the melody pulled up in FL right here. So the sample is in 154. I put it to stretch, and I'm gonna slow it down a little bit since 154 is a little bit too fast. So I said for these type of beats, you really want to go for 130, 140. So I'm gonna set mine to 138. Should be good. So what I'm gonna do next is maybe chop this up, add some effects to it, and later on we're gonna add some more melodies to it. So let's get into that. Alright, so I'm gonna put the melody into Fruity Slicer and chop it up a little bit. So I'm gonna set this to beat and probably mess with the attack and the decay a little bit. Alright, that sounds cool. What I'm gonna do next is go to the master right here and click this little record button, and using Alt or Option R, I'm gonna render it out into a new audio clip like that. Take those out. Now I'm gonna flip it some more, make it into a 8-bar melody, and put some effects on it. Alright, that turned out way different than I expected. So a quick before and after, without any effects, it sounded like this. Because I also pitched it up 700 cents. So instead of this, with effects, sounds like this. Sounds sampled, if that makes sense. So like I said, I want this melody to spark an idea, right? I didn't want this to be the main melody, since I wanted to add my own things later on, of course. So for the effects, start out with the EQ. Like I always tell y'all, put your EQs before you put any effects on it to kind of clean it up before you put any effects on it. So with this EQ, I mainly cut out some sub lows since you don't need those at all. Also lowered some of the mids and also lowered some of the highs. Next, I open up halftime, these settings right here, and I played around with the band a little bit. So that means that everything that's under like 270 hertz gets bypassed by the halftime. And of course, halftime affects the melody a lot. So open up another EQ, and I created this shelf right here. And this right here really gives it that sampled sound. Next, I add some space and some padding to it. I added this delay and this Valhalla Vintage Verb. For the delay, I got the ping pong preset, and I twisted this pan knob a little bit so it kind of pans out from left to right. And to add some space to it for the reverb, I use these settings right here. After the delay and the reverb, I wanted to enhance that sampled feel a little bit. So I got the Final 3 preset, and I turned the wobble off, added some vinyl noise to it, and also added some distortion to it. And after all those effects, open up another EQ to kind of clean it up a little bit. So I cut the sub lows out once again, lowered some of the mids once again, and boosted some of the high mids. And the reason why I boosted the high mids is to give it more air, kind of make it sound a little bit more fresh. So like I said, good foundation to start out with, and I'm gonna add some more melodies to it now. open up Keyscape. I'm gonna change the VST later, but I want to lay down some chords in C# minor since that's what the scale of the melody is in. So how I lay these chords down, start out on the root note, C#. Next I build a triad like that, took the middle note out, copied that up an octave, and then I just copy that over 3 more times. For these type of samples with these type of beats, it's usually pretty repetitive. So that's why these chords are basically just the same chord copied over 4 times. So what I'm gonna do next is change the VST and look for some sort of pad sound, some sort of wavy sound. Alright, so I put the chords in Electra X and I found this ARP, tweaked the settings a little bit. I think I'm gonna render this out and maybe reverse it or put some effects on. Alright, so like I said, rendered this out, cut it up a little bit, rearranged it, and reversed it a few times. And I pasted up a whole octave, and I sent it to a mixer track. I start out with the EQ, cut the sub lows out, lowered some of the low mids, and boosted some of the high mids. After the EQ, when I opened up Effectrix, and I kind of made this little reverse effect, and I played around with this time knob, the attack and the release a little bit. Next, I wanted to pan it out from left to right. So I went to Shaper Box, got this preset, turned the mix to like 30%. Lastly, put the same reverb preset on it to kind of blend it in with the flute melody a little bit. Played around with the low cut so the low end doesn't get muddy with the reverb. It is a perfect melody to kind of tuck in the back a little bit, and it perfectly complements the flute melody as well. Next, I'm gonna create a new pattern, add another melody to it, copy over the chords, and find another preset to layer with these melodies. Alright, so I went into Contact for the next melody, got the Session Horns Pro Bank, and I kind of messed around with these trumpets a little bit. Next, I copied over these chords right here, and I kind of cut them up a little bit so there's like a short stab right in front of the chord. Next, I added this A to kind of glide into the chords again at the end of every 4th bar. So on the 4th right here and on the 8th. Next, I rendered that out, sent it to a mixer track, only added 2 effects to it, simple EQ to kind of clean it up a little bit, and then added the same Valhalla Vintage for a preset. So yeah, I don't want to overcomplicate the melody too much, so I'll probably add like 1 or 2 more melodies and then get into the drums. Alright, so open up Keyscape, got the LA Custom C7 Wash preset, and I'm gonna lay down some root notes to kind of fill out the low end, because there's not too much low end in the sample. So yeah, if I play it now, you can see there's a lot going on in the mids, but there's not too much going on in the low end. I'm at some root notes to it. We'll start on C# and maybe put this up an octave, put this down an octave to kind of fill it out a little bit. So I laid these notes down, like I said, copied it up an octave, copied it down an octave, and it really like makes it sound a lot more full. Kind of fills up the low end a little bit. So for the effects on the piano, simple EQ, simple reverb, just to blend it in with the other melodies. Like I said before, I don't want to overcomplicate the sample too much. So what I'm gonna do is copy this over a bunch of times and arrange this real quick and put some drums on it. All right, so I arranged the melodies real quick, made a new pattern, lay some drums down. And for these drums, for these type of beats, it's really important to add a lot of bounce to it, because the drums really set the bounce for these type of beats. Like, of course, you want to go fairly simple on the melody, don't do too much, but go crazy on the drums. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And like always, all the drum samples I'm gonna be using in this beat get from my rookie season drum kit right here, and also from my new upcoming unreleased drum kit. And for the people that haven't had the chance to get this kit yet, you basically got every sound in this kit to lay down hard drums, bro. Yeah, make sure to get it. I'm gonna have it linked down in the first link down in the description. And also make sure to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram to stay notified when I drop my new drum kit. So yeah, let's lay some drums down. So when laying down drums for these type of beats, of course, we're working in a slower BPM like usual. So I'm gonna add a lot of rolls to it and maybe add some stops like that, take some notes out. So yeah, let's get it. All right, so y'all see how I laid this down. Make sure to use a lot of rolls and pitch some notes down. Kind of change it up in the second part of the hi-hats. Next, I send it to a mixer track, open up effect tricks, and I'm gonna play around with this little reverse effect to kind of add those reverse hi-hats to it. That's pretty much it. That's how I would make beats for Young Thug, man. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, things like that. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram to stay notified when I drop my new drum kit. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me today. So I'm gonna catch you on the next video, man. That's it.